The title of today's lesson is Writing Rules for Situations. Go ahead and write that at the top of your page. The objective today is I will find a rule and extend the table given a table of numbered pairs. Glue the following teaching tool into your notes. These are input-output tables, or also called function tables. When you have a table, it means that you have one number, which is the in, and then when you put that in, out comes another number. What you need to find the rule is you need to look at the pairs of number to figure out what the rule is. So looking at Nelson's age. So if Nelson is 4, then Pam's age is 2. If Nelson's age is 10, then Pam's age is 8. If Nelson's age is 8, then Pam's age is 6. I want you to try and fill in the rest of the table with using Nelson's age at 11 and Nelson's age at 7. Tell me what Pam's age is. And then you need to fill in the rule. Since the numbers are going down, you know that you are either dividing or you are subtracting. So if we look here, we could either be dividing to get from 4 to 2, we could divide by 2, or we could subtract 2. So we need to figure out which of those rules also works with the next set of numbers. So 10 and 8. If we divide 10 divided by 2, it does not equal 8, so that can't be the correct rule. So minus 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. Again, let's try to make sure that it works with all numbers. So if we have Nelson's age at 8, we subtract 2, we do get 6. So the rule is subtracting 2. So if the rule is subtracting 2, then we can go ahead and extend the table. So I have 11 minus 2, well that will give me 9, and 7 minus 2 will give me 5. With the next table, we have a column that says the price of the item, so that would be your in. And then it's the total cost of an item and shipping, so that is your out. So if I pay for an item, it is $19, and then the total cost of shipping with the item is $25. So I'm going to try and figure out what the rule is. Well, since it is increasing, that means we are either going to be adding or we are going to be multiplying. Well, if I look at 19 to get to 25, there's nothing that I can do to multiply 19 by to get to 25, so that means we're going to be adding. Well, 19 plus 6 is going to give me $25. So if I look down at the next one, I don't know what the price of the item is, but I can easily fill in. So if I know that the rule is 6, I can easily fill in what the total cost of the item is if it is $18. So if it's $18, that means it's going to be $24 with shipping. If it's $23 and I add 6, it's going to be $29. Now I need to go backwards with, if I know the total cost is $36, then if I go backwards, I'm going to subtract 6, and that's going to give me $30. Because again, if I would do $30 plus 6, I would get $36. So we know that the rule is correct. With the last chart, or the last table, it already says in and out. So if I look at the first number, it's a 2, and then it's increasing to 6. So that means I know that it's going to be either adding a number or I'm going to be multiplying a number. Well, if I look to get from 2 to 6, I can either add 4 or I can multiply by 3. So I need to figure out which one of those rules is going to work for all the numbers. Well, the only other pair that I have is the last set of numbers. So 10 to 30. So if I add 4 to 10, I do not get 30. So we know that that cannot be the rule. If I multiply 10 by 3, I do get 30. So the rule must be multiplying by 3. So now if I know that the in is 9, I'm going to multiply by 3. So that's going to give me 27. And if I know that the in is 8 and I multiply by 3, I'm going to get 24. Now, since I know the out is 15, that means I need to work backwards. And using backwards, we're going to use inverse operations. So that means I need to divide by 3 to figure out what the in is, which would be 5. And I can check my answer by looking at it and saying, well, does 5 times 3 equal 15? And it does, so we know that we are correct. When solving input-output charts or function tables, the way to think about it is it's a machine. So when a number goes into the machine, there's something that happens in the machine, and that is the rule, and out comes a different number. So for example, if I was to put in the number 11 into my machine, well, inside of the machine, if I'm going to add 2, that's what's going to happen. So it goes into the machine, and then out comes a new number. So if I add 2 to 11, that's going to give me 13. So that's another way to think of a function table. So another example could be, so if I was to erase this, and I was to say if I put 4 into the function table machine, and inside the machine the rule was times 6, well then 4 times 6 would be, out would pop 24. So if we turn in our books to page 47 and look at guided practice, there's a table that shows hours worked. So we have hours worked, and then we have amount earned. I'm going to abbreviate so I don't run out of room. So then I have 4 hours worked, 8 hours worked, 7 hours worked, 2 hours worked, and 6 hours worked. Then it says that if I worked 4 hours, the amount earned was $24, $48 for 8 hours worked. We have a blank for 7. We have $12 for 2 hours worked, and we have a blank for 6. So the number 1, it says, what is the rule for the table? So we first need to look at the pairs of numbers. Well, since it's going from 4 to 24, that means we know it's increasing, so you're either going to multiply or you're going to add. Okay, well if I look to multiply, I can multiply 4 times 6 to get 24, or I can add 20 to 4 to get $24. So I need to figure out which one also matches for the other pairs of numbers. So if I look at 8 and 48, well 8 times 6 does equal 48, and 8 plus 20 does not equal 48, so that is not the rule. So the rule is going to be multiplying by 6. So if I look at number 2, it says what are the missing numbers? Well, I need to apply the rule to the hours worked, which would be 7 times 6, which is going to give me $42, and then 6 times 6 is going to give me $36. Once you figure out the rule, whatever amount they give you for hours, you should be able to figure out the amount earned. So then your answer to number 2 would be $42 and $36.